All right, Shalom. First off, I'm going to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Yahweh being the Heavenly Father's true name, Yahweh Shai being the name of his only begotten Son. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles, the great millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all you walking throughout the four corners of the earth, continuing to push and do the works in truth and in sincerity. All right, this is the brother Masha, my young one, the men here with the GMS branch out here in the morning camp. Here with another quick lesson through the Spirit and pretty much going into keeping our head in the book, all right, and continuing to read, okay, because that's what alleviates, all right, our mind, okay, from a lot of the different emotions that we feel, okay, being here within Esau Edom's kingdom, all right. A lot of different things that might be going on around you, okay, whether it be a work situation, all right, things going on in your life, okay, our tailor-made hell, right, and the different trials and afflictions that, we deal with, right. Hey, keeping our head in the book and reading, okay, or even, just throughout your day, okay, when you feel like you're bored or it's nothing to do, right? Hey, we got these scriptures, we got the Spirit, we got, the Lord, okay? Pray to Yahweh Bashim Shai and get in the scriptures, because these scriptures is what enlighten. These scriptures is what, quicken you when you're feeling, parabolically speaking, okay, when you feel like things are dead, right, or you're feeling bored, right? Hey, get in these scriptures, okay? But without further ado, let's start off with Revelations chapter 1. And we're going to read verse 3. This is Revelations chapter 1 and verse 3, and it reads, "Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand." Okay? So it said, blessed is he that readeth. All right? Now, when we go into that word readeth in the blue letter, I got it pulled up, right? It says, it's the Greek word anagnosko, and it says to distinguish between, to recognize, to know accurately, all right, to acknowledge, okay? But it says to distinguish between, to know accurately, all right? And let's go into the root word gnosko. It says to learn, to know, come to know, right? To know, understand, perceive, have knowledge of, all right? And knowing, okay, and learning, all right? These different definitions that it gave to distinguish, okay, to know accurately. These are all what? Things we learn as we read the scriptures, okay? And we continue to learn, the different things that we come across, right? Or really getting a better understanding of what we already been taught, because the scriptures say, continue down in the things which thou hast been taught, okay? But continue, to the Spirit having supping with us, getting more understanding on different things. All right, this is what we get, okay, when you read. All right, that's why it says, blessed is he that readeth, okay? The Spirit guides, Jake, to ask chat different things, right? Using Google, typing in Google, AI giving its answers and different things like that. So, through the Spirit and power, how about Shema, we got these tools, okay? But what? The Spirit guides us, what? Through reading these scriptures, right? To come up with these answers and, to have a better insight, So going back to Revelation chapter 1 and verse 3, it says, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand, right? And the elect are the ones who are going to keep these things that are written, okay? Dealing with what? Keeping the law to the best of our ability, okay? Stand upon our watch, all right? And knowing and understanding these things, as we just read, the definition just said, to know, right? Knowing and understanding that, Revelation 13 is talking about, the MOT to the B, okay? We keep it by keeping it in our minds, okay? So that when that time comes, okay, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yashai, the elect aren't going to take it, right? But it's all what? It's all through reading, because if you don't read, okay, then you're not going to know and understand these things, right? But and just really, in doing this, it keeps your mind occupied, okay? It keeps your mind focused and, gives your mind something to think about, all right? Instead of, feeling like there's nothing to do at times, because I speak for myself, You might have already read, you might have got through the camp read, okay? And you're not feeling that spark, you know, you're not you don't have, you feel like it's nothing you want to go into, right? But sometimes, hey, just, you know, reading something or looking something up can give you a spark, right? And distract your mind from whatever it is you might be feeling, okay, throughout the day. Okay. Because like it says, let's get Amos 3 and 7 real quick. This is Amos chapter 3 and verse 7, and it reads, "Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants the prophets." Okay. You know, so when we get into these scriptures, hey, that's when, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Shai, that's when he reveals his secrets upon us. All right. And in revealing these secrets, okay, like brothers say, you know, you start to get that light bulb moment, right? You start to get excited, okay, knowing and understanding different things, right? This is what keeps our mind excited and focused, okay, instead of worrying about, you know, the different things once again going on, you know? And I want to use this reference real quick in the book of 1 Samuel, right? This is 1 Samuel chapter 14. And let's start at verse 24. And it reads, "And the men of Israel were distressed that day, for Saul had adjured the people, saying, Cursed be the man that eateth any food until evening, that I may be avenged on mine enemies. So none of the people tasted any food. And all they of the land came to a wood, and there was honey upon the ground. And when the people were come into the wood, behold, the honey dropped, but no man put his hand to his mouth, for the people feared the oath. But Jonathan heard not when his father charged the people with the oath, wherefore he put forth the end of the rod that was in his hand, and dipped it in an honeycomb, and put his hand to his mouth, and his eyes were enlightened." All right. So, hey, physically, this is what that honey did for Jonathan, okay? It enlightened his eyes, right? Gave him that energy, okay? Showing you too, you know, honey is a powerful, you know, antioxidant herb, okay, or sweetener if you want to call it that, right? But physically, that's what it did for him, you know, when he tasted it, right? Well, the scriptures, okay, let's get Psalms, you know, 119 real quick. This is Psalms chapter 119 and verse 103. And it reads, "How sweet are thy words unto my taste, yea, sweeter than honey to my mouth." All right. So the scriptures is compared unto honey, is sweeter than honey. All right. So when you, hey, you know, when you get into the scriptures, hey, this is what can excite you, okay? Even in the book of Jeremiah, it says what? "Thy words were found, and I did eat them, and they were the joy," okay, "and rejoicing in mine heart," right? So when you get into these scriptures, hey, this is what gives you that excitement. This is what gives us, you know, renews our hope each and every single day. Well, ultimately, of course, you know, the spirit and power, Yahweh Bashem Shai, right? But these words is what give us that hope to continue to push and to continue to endure, you know? 104, Psalms 119, 104. "Through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way." Okay? And once again, these precepts and this is what gives us the understanding of many different things, you know? Many different things. We get the understanding on the herbs. All right, we get the understanding on how to deal, how to move, conduct ourselves, balance. All right. Scriptures give you you know, advice on not being lazy, working with your own hands, right? Most importantly, hey, you know, we're taught to fear the Lord through these scriptures. All right. And once again, too, I just mentioned that because it's all, you know, the scriptures say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. All right. And then if you fear the Lord, that's when you're going to apply these things, right? You know, but the point is, hey, this is where we get our understanding from. And this is what continues to guide us. All right. All through the spirit and power of the Lord, you know. Let's jump down to verse 130. And it reads, "The entrance of thy words giveth light. It giveth understanding unto the simple," right? You know, and like once again, like the honey physically did to Jonathan, it enlightened his eyes. Okay, Well, in the spiritual sense, hey, this gives us that light. You know, studying the scriptures and you get enlightened, you get that light bulb moment. All right, like brothers say, you get a revelation on something, and you know your mind is, now you're on fire because you're excited, right? Hey, this is what gives us that spark or that excitement, and it's something to think about, right? Meditate about, So so you're not just your mind's not feeling dull or just bored with the everyday activities that we got to do, right? Um, let's also jump up to verse 50. This is Psalms 119 and verse 50, and it reads, Psalms 119 and verse 50, this is my comfort in my affliction, for thy word hath quickened me. All right. So it said this is our comfort in our affliction. So when you dealing with different things, all right, the different afflictions you got to go through, deal with, a lot of different things that goes through, all right, whether it be, it could be something simple as whether it be friction in your household or dealing with, brothers that, your BM or, your job situation or a car situation or whatever it may be, okay? It's all an affliction and it doesn't feel sweet, all right? It makes you bitter and upset, all right? But what? This word, okay, this is our comfort, And it said, for thy word hath quickened me, all right? So when you get in the scriptures and you hear these words, all right, you get that spark again to get up and, all right, through the spirit, then you remind yourself, all right, we'll be all right, through the spirit and power of Bashim Ashah, right? Because these scriptures are what? Here to uplift us, okay? And to give us, the strength to keep pushing, From here, let's get the book of John chapter 6. The book of John chapter 6 and verse 63. And it reads, it is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, the words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. All right. So these words, this is the spirit and this is that life, and this is what quickens. And that word quicken means what? Make alive. Okay. Because once again, everything out here, like Jake says in the world, all right. Jake will say, man, it's dead out here, right? Well, hey, through the spirit, hey, we see that through the scriptures. We understand and know that it's really nothing else out here. All right. But we got this word and we got this truth, and this is what gives us that life. This is what quickens us, to keep that hope and excitement, But that's the point. Want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles of Grand Millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all you walking throughout the four corners of the earth, continuing to push and do the works in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.